A cross-country capture. It was the most destructive fire in Los Angeles' history, destroying homes, killing several people, and it was allegedly started by an ex-Uber driver.
People do evil things for whatever reason.
Who was tracked down right here in Central Florida.
It's pretty insane that it came to Florida from California.
A small spark raged for weeks, burning down parts of Los Angeles.
Families have carried an unmanageable grief.
The story igniting the nation, and a digital trail that led investigators straight to Central Florida.
I wish we could get into somebody's head, but we can't.
That alleged arsonist arrested right in our own backyard. Investigators say this is the man responsible for sparking that deadly Palisades fire earlier this year in California. Thanks for joining us. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. The 29-year-old was living in Melbourne and tracked down by the feds yesterday. Jonathan Rinderknecht, who also goes by the name of Jonathan Rinder, was living in California at the time of the fire back in January. It's still, though, unclear when he came to Florida. He's accused of starting that blaze that burned through the Palisades neighborhood near Los Angeles. 12 people were killed. Over 6,000 structures were destroyed. Firefighters battled the flames for about 3 weeks. In the end, more than 23,000 acres were burned.
The allegations are further supported by the defendant's cell phone, his false statements to law enforcement, and his behavior during the Lockman fire, which the defendant is charged with maliciously starting shortly after midnight on New Year's Day of this year, and which eventually became the Palisades Fire.
We have live team coverage for you tonight. Fox 35's Christina Gonzalez is in Los Angeles with reaction. Esther Bauer is speaking to neighbors in Brevard County where the suspect was arrested. But we begin with Randy Hildreth live in Orlando tonight. So, Randy, the suspect was there in federal court just a few hours ago.
Yeah, good evening to you, Luann. I was in the courtroom. He appeared very calm. He was assigned a public defender. She asked for his preliminary hearing, his bond hearing, to be rescheduled for tomorrow. Prosecutors say that they were ready today, but agreed to the change.
Are you at fault if a fire is lit because of your cigarette? Investigators say 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht asked ChatGPT that at 12:17 a.m., January 1st, 2025. They believe just moments before, Rinderknecht had started a brush fire with a barbecue lighter that would eventually grow into the deadly Palisades wildfire. Rinderknecht, who now lives in Melbourne, is charged with destruction of property by means of fire. He was arrested Tuesday in West Melbourne and appeared in federal court Wednesday afternoon. In court, he was calm as he told the judge he understood the charge and understood that he could face anywhere from 5 to 20 years in prison if convicted. According to the criminal complaint, Rinderknecht was living in California at the time of the fire. Investigators believe he first started the Lockman fire in California on January 1st. This is a picture of the damage included in the complaint. Investigators say firefighters put out the flames, but it continued to burn underground vegetation. They say on January 7th, strong winds in the area caused that underground fire to grow and spread, turning into the deadly Palisades fire. Investigators say they obtained cell phone data from the Lockman fire to figure out who was there when it was set. And they say Rinderknecht was the only one pinged in that area.
He did go back the same night. So the night he started the fire, he left. As soon as he saw the fire trucks were headed to the location, he turned around and went back up there. And he took some video and watched them fight the fire.
In that complaint, they also say Rinderknecht lied about how close he was to the Lockman fire area. They say his geolocation on his phone showed he was only about 30 to 40 feet from where that fire started.
Now, coming up new at 6, I have been going through that criminal complaint. Coming up at 6, I'll break down what investigators say that Rinderknecht was allegedly doing in the months and days before that brush fire grew into the deadly Palisades fire. I'll send it back to you live tonight. Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
Well, right now, the timeline of his movements across the country after that fire, though, are still a mystery.
At some point after the fire, that suspect crossed the country to come here to Central Florida. He was picked up by authorities in West Melbourne after being pulled over. That is 2,500 miles away from the Palisades. Fox 35's Esther Bauer is in Brevard County tonight. So, Esther, you're live out there speaking to neighbors. Do any of them know him?
Luann, the neighbors that we spoke with did not know the suspect personally, but did know the suspect's family. As you just mentioned, it was the West Melbourne Police Department that tracked down the suspect during a traffic stop. We're told he was living in a home in here at West Melbourne, and he also had other family in the area, too.
It's significant arrest.
The man wanted for allegedly starting one of the deadliest fires in California history was just found in Central Florida.
It's a very significant case, with large implications for a lot of people.
People who lived near the Rinderknecht family in West Melbourne are shocked by the news.
It's a shame that people just don't think before they do something and how many lives they affect.
Police say the suspect was most recently living at a home on Alligator Flag Circle in West Melbourne. Not everyone's surprised Jonathan Rinderknecht is allegedly responsible. One neighbor who didn't want to show his face on camera says other family members who lived on Del Mar Circle in Melbourne would mention concerning behavior about the alleged suspect.
It's pretty insane that it came to Florida from California.
The West Melbourne police chief says he's thankful no one was injured on the Space Coast when he was in the area.
Everyone's pleased that he's in custody and not a threat to anyone else.
Their job is done now that the alleged fire starter is finally behind bars. And West Melbourne says that the ATF will still be the main agency on this case. They were simply there to help. We also asked if they did any kind of search warrant on the suspect's vehicle during the arrest, and the chief says if one is done, it's going to be the feds who will do it. Reporting live in West Melbourne, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Esther, thank you. And we first broke this story on Fox Local at noon today. You can stay on top of this story and all the others by downloading the app. There we will stream any news conferences and updates.